All right, you should be able to hear me now. Let's put the camera on. Should be able to see me now. Looking forward to doing this with you guys today. I think bring a little bit different style to this Thursday meeting than what Michael does. Going to approach it a little bit differently how I do some one-on-one stuff and cover some different setups using the time warp as my main product tool. How was everyone's trading day today? Did you guys weather the storms of the market and the whippiness, the back and forth, the longs and the shorts? You know, what's so nice about trading is that we're not in competition with each other, that, you know, we can bounce ideas off one another and, you know, try to make everyone profitable. So for a lot of you guys who are joining us today, you've been to the website, you saw the time signals indicators, you're filled out the survey that you're interested in learning more information about it. This is just a chart of the ES on the 3-minute. It was put on the website 2 days ago. This is an image of it as it progressed. We'll look at a bigger chart here in a little bit, but just be mindful that the white dots typically mean there's an up direction, and the blue dots typically mean there's a down direction. Up, down, ebb and flow. We're going to get into some more stuff too, because sometimes there's better setups than just taking from white dot to blue dot, you know, buying and selling. Places where you can take lower risk entries. Some places that you sit out, there's times, even with the software, that there's times that, you know, you sit on your hands and you wait for things to shape up a little bit better. But go ahead and move this back over to the side. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and go to my NinjaTrader. I've already pulled up a back testing day. Let me grab this as well. What I find is whenever I'm doing one-on-one demonstrations with people and going over the tool, that this tends to work better for me when it comes to showcasing how it works. You can see in real time how the lines populate. You can see that these dots are plotted into the future, that we know that there is a time of movement. A couple of months ago, Michael, the owner of the company, he described these dots as they're more than just sell dots, they're more than just buy dots. Think of them as like an invitation to a party. There has been historical movement around this time frame, looking back days, weeks, months, to try to pinpoint this. These are populated a week in advance, and they do extend out further out. I'd have to go in and change the setting to make them go even further, but for the sake of getting into it, let's go from here. Now, we're not going to start at 12 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward. I normally start my day at 7:30, sitting in front of the computer and looking for setups. So let's fast forward that. You can see that we're coming into a 7:09 sell signal. We see that 6 o'clock we had a buy dot, that it moved up. When this buy dot populated, this line was populated and this line. This was the open price line of this pattern one. We expect by the time this zone ends that we will be above this line. And we were also above the EMA. So we were definitely looking an up move. You could have took entry on this line with risk below here. Unfortunately, it did come down here, but we are also talking pre-market as well. Trade I normally would not take first thing in the morning, but if it would have broke EMA, I would have probably taken a small loss on it. Let's play, and let's speed up into the sell dot. And it's not playing. You gotta love technology sometimes. All right, let's go a different direction. Sorry, that has not happened to me yet where the playback just froze and would not play back. All right, here's the same time frame, guys. 6 o'clock in the morning again. We had open price line here. Unfortunately, it did come down well past what would be a aggressive stop out. A conservative would be below the EMA. Either way, they both got taken out. But again, that was 6 a.m. in the morning. Here at 7:09, we have what we consider a pattern 2. Pattern 2, we were expecting a short, but we also had a sell candle at a sell time, which can produce an up movement. What we do look for in this scenario is what the EMA is doing. As you see, it pulled down, tagged, tested, back up again. If you were to short this, you would take this at open price line. Once it broke the EMA, you would lock up that trade there, and then you would look for further continuation down. As you see, it did come back up. This would be a sell, and it did result in a winner because it did go to the bottom of the EMA. 754. With this is a pattern 5. This has set a new high for the day. Pattern 5s are typically down moves. This did exactly what it was supposed to do. This is your target line in that. I would have taken the sell here. I would have targeted that dotted line. That would have been 10 points. Risk would have been above the candle that created it. So you're minimizing your risk. You're more of a 1-to-1, possibly getting into a 2-to-1. We had a pattern 2 at 8:21. As you see, it did work. This is the 8:30. We've all seen it. It's the 8:30 report. I call it the 8:30 spike. Excuse me. But it did work to start off with. If you were a seller, once it broke the EMA, that's where you'd like to profit up at. You'd have been up 10 points. Now, once reports and stuff come in, we kind of wait for everything to settle out, and then we look to get back into the market and re-engage the market. So here we come into 9:18. I'm going to stop here because I want to show you maybe a little bit better setup of what I would do. I see a down move that has broken the EMA. I'm into a pattern 1. When this candle closed, there is a open price line right here. I would be looking to take this long somewhere in this candle body. If I can get it open price line, I will take it. Usually I give it a couple seconds when the candle first starts. Just kind of see if there's any more pullback to it. As you see, she went straight up, tagged the EMA. If we would have had our fill, and there was a little dip down, so I'm going to claim that I would have been in at open price line. Once it touched the EMA, I'd be looking to lock up profit and then look for a continual breakout. We had a doji candle up, and then there we go. Once there, I'm definitely locking that in. Of course, risk reward. If you guys want to lock that 3/4 of that candle up, be my guest. I'd like to see if it plays out a little bit longer. Come back and touch the EMA line and then broke it. But we still had a $7.50. Excuse me, 7.5 point winner on that. Oh, and then that must have been 9:30. 9:30, they ran her all the way down, came and touched previous low. And then, so again, we don't worry about reports. We do not engage the market in these time frames. They're just too volatile, risk management and everything else. But you could have gotten this by at 9:18, taken it long, possibly had a further breakthrough of that EMA line. And then, as you see, when 9:30 came in, they ran her down. Let's see here. Get to the next dot. Whippiness. It was whipping from 9:30 until 10:30, 11 o'clock. It has been very hard to trade this market today, doing anything other than using your timing signals to take entry and exit. We prefer this as just, this is garbage. This is, who can trade that with any that whip action back and forth. It run you up, spike you back down, minimal winners, big losers. But let's see if it doesn't settle back out at the next time zone. I'm just looking for a timing dot, guys. Give me just a minute. There should have been one right there. There it is. So 11:30. 11:30. As we talked about with the 5, this is also considered a pattern 4. Pattern 4s typically go up. We are above the EMA, so I would have certainly have looked for a buy shortly. As soon as this candle ended, I've been looking to buy. Excuse me, with the pattern 4, I would have gone a couple ticks above just in case there was any more down movement. So I would have taken a push through trade right here. And I'm targeting that blue line there. She did not make it by the next signal. Somewhere into this candle here would have been a good place to take profit. Let's say worst case scenario, when that candle failed, we were out. So only a 4-point winner. It would have been nice if it had gone to target. But certainly if you see something that's approaching to it and there's a pullback, lock in profit. Do not take the risk of losing. 11:48 would have created a pattern 1. This one on the first candle after, it did go up. We had a continuation candle of the second one. Ultimately, the market maker decided to come in, run it back, and then she took off. Sorry, guys, I got people messaging me. 12:39, we came into another pattern 2. This would have been a sell signal. We would have sold it at the open of this candle. We wait for this candle to close. This candle would have been our entry. We would have sold it there. And once you came to EMA, that would have been where we locked target up at. And that would have been basically it right there. So another 12-point winner. See, it retested open price line, then back to the EMA, kind of range bound right through here. And then we wait for our next signal. Next signal at 1:30 in the afternoon, we have a buy signal, pattern 1. We would be looking to take this long because we are above the EMA. And we would have gotten in here. I would have used previous candle as my stop out. So I'd be looking for a stop right here. We'll see what she does. I'm going to draw out, sorry. So it would have entered long here, and that would have been a stop. That's actually a loser. But low risk. And that's what we try to teach at Back to the Future is, minimize your risk, get into trades, take your shots, take the high probability shots, that is. We're not gamblers. We're not impulsive. We try to wait for the candle after the signal to give us our open price line to take that move in the direction that we think it's going to go. We do use the MA as a trend line, but as you see, that does go back and forth. So if you are looking to take what's considered a counter trend trade, if you're looking to short this down, all your targets cut in half. If you are above, you're targeting the lines to populate on the screen. Let's get to the next signal. We have a sell dot at 409. We are at let's see here, we'd be in a pattern 2 currently. We'd be looking to take this short. Stop would be above the candle that created the pattern 2, and then we would take the short at open price line. So I'm going to draw it out. This would have been interesting. I would like to think I would have held through this. Good chance is I would have probably picked up some money right here and let the rest of the zone play out. We'll call that a winner. But if we would have stayed in this with the EMA as our backing, and just kind of rode anything right there, when she came back above EMA, would have been out. That'd have been 21 points. Oh, I'm sorry, and we had a buy dot, so we actually would have been out. Should have been out here. The candle. So if you are in a trade that is working well and it gets to the next indicator, that is the time to start reducing, or excuse me, start taking profit. Look to get out, because the next zone is coming in, and there could be an up move or a pullback or something like that. And then look at this candle here. Would that have been great to have been in? That would have hit somebody's target for sure. Just that one candle. Just that one candle went for 30 points. I don't know about you guys, but I set my my target line at 50. I set my risk at 40, and then once I get into the trade, I start adjusting my stop loss bar, and then going from there, and then open up my target or set a reasonable target line. That would have hit my target for sure at 50 ticks, and would have been a fantastic day. As the Subi came into a pattern one, she did work for one candle, the candle that got us in. She did fail but she did puncture it. She did hit the EMA. So if we would have taken that, and when she hit the EMA, locked up profit. You have another 12-point winner. Guys, I do apologize. My playback didn't work. I apologize that I've got some documents that have not populated. We typically go much longer on these meetings. Again, I was opening up some files, and they requested me open up OneDrive. When I opened up OneDrive, it did like duplicate. It duplicated all my files, which then also messed up my Ninja. I had to get Rachel, who works with Future Trading, to come on and clean my computer back up just to get it back to this point of getting things going. Is Michael on? I might be able to turn it back over to him and let him do a little bit. If not, we'll keep going. But that is basically our trading day. Well, I'll tell you what, real quick, let's add up the points. 21 points. We'll call it 28 for easy math. 28, 40, 44, 44, that'd be 51, that would be 60, 70, 74 points on NQ on the 3-minute, and then we did have a loser. I would have called that a loser. Where was that one at? I would have called this one a loser but we'll give it 7 points. So it's 50 plus points. Excuse me, 50 plus ticks today. I'm sorry. On ES trading trading the time warp signals. Let me shrink this all up so we can make this thing look a little prettier. Make you guys see a little bit better. I'm going to take all the drawing tools off real quick. Again, yeah, like I said, I sit in front of my computer coming in around 7 o'clock. Really don't look for any trades. Typically, I wait for 8:30 to come in, but there is a nice setup. I will take it. I would have got involved right here when this pattern one came back above the EMA. That would have been a nice little place to kind of pick up and finish out that zone. Definitely would have sold this. That would not have been a problem at all. Come back. Of course, knowing 8:30 is coming in, I would have locked up profit, took the profitable stop loss line that would have hit. Of course, that wicked up. Would have stayed out of all this until 9:18, and then I would have gone for a buy. That would have been profitable. As we got, you know, 3/4 or halfway into the zone, she came back down, which I would have already been a profitable trader. It wouldn't have gone up forever. It didn't make it all the way to the zone, but it would have been a profitable trade nonetheless. Sell off came in at 951. She came down. That was a beautiful, beautiful trade right there that went forever. If you would have taken this and ran it until you would have taken this and ran it to the next dot, which would have been, we'll say roughly there. Just that move alone is 64 points. Let me remove these drawing tools again. I'm sorry. And this, you see this play out more and more on multiple charts. Since we weren't able to do playback, yeah, let's look up ES 3-minute. So it was 8:30, which was, we would have stayed out of all that because of the candle after. Would have waited for that to settle out. We had a buy dot from there to the next signal. She did make it. She was a profitable trade. She was closed above that open price line. Then they ran her down. That would have been, that was at 9:30. I'm not sure what time frame that was, right before 10:15. So that was 10:12. Not sure if we had any reports out today, which this would have created a pattern for. So we put in a newer low from previous time frames. It came back and retested all this. So we were at a previous low, pattern 4, would have taken it long. That would have been a profitable trade as well before she rolled back over. Had a buy dot. She came above her open price line before she got to the next signal. She was up. Sell dot. Sell came in a little late. Sell came in a little late. That would have been a stop out in that regard. I would have been stopped out here trying to sell it back going this way. That was a little bit too much action. So that would have been a loser. Pattern 1, pattern 1 also ultimately it went, but she went a little late. That would have been a little bit too much heat for what I like to do. I usually like to be right here as my stop and then let everything else play out. This also too would have been a stop out, trying to shorten it down. Actually, it is. There's 2 ways to trade this. I'm not going to confuse you guys. You could do a trend continuation pattern 2, which is actually take the long above this. I love selling those veteran setups than to talk about it in class when it's just playback, because anyone can, you know, make up a rule, make up a policy, make up whatever to say, yeah, I would have done it that way. That's why I always do the playbacks, is that way we can do it. We can do it more in a live setting, so you see how everything populates and goes from there. All right, we do have it playing. That's always good. All right, and what I am going to do is I'm going to put this on like a really fast forward. I think what messed it up a while ago was I scrolled the bar, and I found multiple times, and now I get thinking about it, if you scroll it, it like freezes up and just won't do anything. So just a second, please, guys. We'll try to stop it around that 7 o'clock time frame, and then we can actually sim some trades with each other, and maybe that will redeem my time I've spent with you guys for the last 30 minutes fumbling around. I had you come in these things with a clear intention of what you want to do and how you want to present it, you know, and one thing goes wrong, and it is fumbling around to make something work. Give me just a second. We're almost there. We're at 5:45. Slow it down just a little bit, 100 times speed. I don't want to miss it. Nope, right there. 7 o'clock. Let's stop it right there. See where we're at 6:54. All right. So again, we try to enter the candle after a signal. And again, these signals are populated a week in advance. As you'll see, as we move further in time, more and more signals will come up. I have to come up here and change the setting to show you more signals. We'll just go with what we got for now because I don't want to mess anything else up. All right, let's fast forward. We're going to get to that 7:54 time frame, and then we'll see if we can show how these lines populate out, what your risk can be, what your reward can be, and go from there. Getting close. It's and in case someone can see it, we are on the ES 624 3-minute chart. So we're actually looking at last week's activity. I felt like it was prudent of me to go to a time frame that I really haven't looked at all that much. Forgot last week already. 43 years old, be 44 on Saturday. I have found that at my old age, if I don't write something down, then I usually forget it. Imagine how long it took me to learn how to trade. So here we are. We're at 7:54. We have 2 minutes and 46 seconds for this candle to close. Let's blow it up just a little bit so you guys can see a little bit better. All right, we're on just regular 1-time speed. I might go to 2 times just to kind of make these candles not seem like they're taking forever, so we're not watching paint dry. Now, here currently, I'm already thinking, all right, we are above the EMA. I would like, and we're coming into a buying signal. I would like to find a reason to take this long and go with trend. But we wait and see. I can't tell you guys, when I first became a customer, I would sit here and I'm like, oh, I can't wait because I know it's going to go up. I'm going to take it now because I want to be in the move early. And if I told you how many times that cost me, you'd probably not listen to this webinar anymore. I've simmed a lot. I backtested a lot. I didn't really lose real money, so to speak, but I treated my sim account just like it was a real money account. I didn't cheat my way. I didn't take 20 contracts to buy myself out. I wanted to see it work, one contract trading, and ran it just as tight as I possibly could. Now, you will see whenever this comes up, if we do take a trade, that I have a 40 tick stop loss and a 50 tick stop winner, just so I can get the lines on there and I can start adjusting from there. Let's see here. We got 20 seconds to close this candle. And I'm going to pause it just as soon as it comes through, just so we can, I want to show you how these lines populate whenever it comes in. So we are still looking at pattern 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pause. All right. So this is time warp. Time warp has now said, okay, here's your open price line for this pattern 1. We are expecting by the time we get to this 8:30 signal dot that this price will be above this open price line. It is a high probability that it will be above this open price line, but you will see that there's candles that go up, they'll come back, they'll retest, they'll finish out, maybe they'll flatten out, maybe they'll be a couple ticks below. But somewhere in the zone, there should be a movement above it. But that's where I also preach manage your risk. So having the EMA here and having this open price line so close together, my stop would be just a couple ticks below this EMA just to give it a chance to play out. So if you would guys indulge me, I'm going to place the buy order. I also found I like push through.
Order submitted.
I like push through because I've gotten to the point of feeling like I want to grab the momentum of that candle. I used to very early on, 2 years ago, I'd like, well, I want to grab it on the EMA. If it comes and hits the EMA line, I want to get that action. But she can come down. So I started teaching people, this is your aggressive stop. This is like, I'm going to give it the room. I have the liquidity in my account to give it this room to go. This is this white dotted line is like your Alamo, basically. If the buyers do not come in here, they have surrendered this zone, and you can look for breakout below it. So, but I want to be in the move. I want to take the trade. I'm not going to risk this much. I'm going to risk this much. And then I manage my trade going from there to start figuring out, what's a good profit, that kind of thing. Let's see, let's make these candles a little bit fatter so we can see it. See, like she broke the EMA. I'm not in the trade. I'm still going to let it play out. If this candle closes below the EMA, there's a very good possibility I will close this order entirely and let any kind of down movement play out. But we'll give it the 2 minutes and some change to see what she does. We'll speed it up a little bit so it's not like watching paint dry. Here we go. Look, we're about to get filled here in just a second, guys. Maybe not. And since she closed below the EMA, I'm really not a fan of this right now. I think we're going to give we'll have a lot of resistance here. And then we also have this open price line that's also going to get resistance. If this candle comes back up and starts, showing the push up into this zone, I would consider taking it then, but I want to take it off the board for now. And from there, I'm just going to sit on my hands. Real quick, I mentioned a while ago, consider this the Alamo line. I don't trade from here. You could potentially. I'm not a fan of it because basically if she closes below that, and I do apologize, I refer to the charts in the feminine kind of mindset. I think we have to talk nice to them and finesse them and be kind. So that way she'll be kind to us. So I do apologize if that kind of throws people off, that I refer to charts and candles more in like the feminine context. So let's see here. All right, I'm gonna pause it one more time. I want you to see it came to the dotted line. It has pulled back. Again, me personally, I do not trade from here. I've seen it too many times that once it gets here, while she might react, a candle or two later will finally break that structure off to the races. There's a good probability that if it did break that structure, it would come to here before it slowed down. But let's let it play out and see what it does. Okay, it did react from that dotted line for now. Oh, maybe not. All right, look, we have a good push back up. This is why, have your idea, have the, don't take it just at open price line. This would be a lot of negative into your account, waiting for this trade to play out. If nothing else, if you're still thinking taking this long, we're going to wait until it comes back above that open price line. It is above the EMA now with 59 seconds left to go on this candle. I would consider
order submitted.
My stop would still be the same. My stop would still be below the EMA. And let's see if it doesn't play out for the other half of the zone.
Order filled.
All right, we're in the order. All right, where is my, there they are. They're far away. Like might get stopped out before I even get to put the thing in there. All right, that should be a stop. I'm sorry, guys. That would have been a stop technically. Let's get to where it should have been. It should have been right there. Maybe one tick. Let's see if we can target top of that structure. Kind of got to shake my head on this one. I mean, it worked where my stop would have been at once I got filled. Probably got taken out. So I will not at least not take a profitable trade. I'll at least see if I can hit the target line, and that should be fair. It's another reason why I do a 40 tick 40 tick stop and a 50 tick target right out the beginning, just so I can make my adjustments to it. If I was at 10 or 12, that quick spike would have definitely stopped me out. And as I was grabbing it, coming into it, she already reacted and made me a profit. Let's see here. Let's slow this down real quick. We're coming into a pattern 2, and we are below the EMA. We are going to wait. We're going to wait for the 8:30 signal to pass. Again, the 8:30 spike can be crazy, as we all know. And let's see how she does. I'm going to speed up just a little bit so we're not watching paint dry. All right. So we got 2 minutes and 10 seconds to close this candle. Let's speed up just a little bit. Not too much though. I don't want to blow past it. Got a minute to close this candle. $15 seconds. Slow it down a little bit. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, I'm gonna pause it right there, guys. All right, we are in a pattern 2. I know it's 8:30. If this was 10:15, I would take this trade this way. It is 8:30, but since you guys have been so patient waiting for me, we are going to take the sell.
Order filled.
I'm sorry, it grabbed me where I did. I was actually going to put my sell here, like it kind of jumped me, but anyway, I would set for a push through. That way I can grab the momentum of that candle. I'm looking the down sell. I want to grab it. I want that break away from it. But in case there's any kind of pullback or anything like that, I don't want to get tagged out. So what I like to do is I like to bring it down. I like to give it a previous candle to a previous wick point. Like I said, I'm only currently giving it 11 ticks, and let's see how she plays out. And again, I'm sorry for the female connotation of the charts. Oh my goodness. Well, I told you those 8:30 spikes can be a little crazy, guys. But if it had been 11:15, 10:10, any of that stuff, I probably would have taken it. A little bit of a loss, but we will sit on hands. Let's go ahead and fast forward and go to the 9:18 signal. Another reason why I say stay out of 8:30. I said that earlier in case anyone wants to go back on what I said. Anything around 8:30, 9:30, we stay out of them. I was even hesitant before I even took that trade, but I digress. We put it on the chart. One thing about trading is honest. You cannot lie. You cannot finagle. Either you took it or you didn't. Either you won or you lost. The candle either went up or went down. It is a very finite business that we are all in. And at the end of the day, wins or loses, you got to say I did it. The reason why I push back testing so much for new guys is you got to see it. You got to see it. You got to trust it. You got to treat your sim like you do real money market. you know, get the pattern book I was trying to pull up a while ago, and it looks like those files got corrupted. Let me just grab it real quick. I got it sitting right beside my desk. And since I have this handy dandy webcam, I can put this up here. It is called the Histogram Guide, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Histogram. And in it, it goes over patterns, it goes over setups, it goes over philosophy. That is, of course, comes with your time warp as a tool. Of course, it's downloadable as PDF. Also, too, guys, there's a lot of things that come with just having this product. You have support. You have me. You have Michael. You have Ron. You have Rachel. You have Dave. That you can reach out. There's some mentoring that we can do. There's also a pro class that meets on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. You can sit right in that classroom, take live trades with Michael, the owner of the company. He goes over setups. He goes over rules. He goes over different time frames, different markets. It is invaluable to have that pro room class in addition to your time warp. And there's also other tools as well too, but we won't get into that today. This is me and Mike were talking about the other day. There are some other tools that Back to the Future offers. Time warp is if anyone's ever done boxing or fighting or Muay Thai or any of that stuff, as you can tell, I'm not one of those guys, but my oldest son was, and love what his instructor said. He's like, the first thing you got to do is you got to learn how to jab cross. Learning time warp is learning your jab cross. And it's funny because I saw something the other day that, sorry, I got messages popping up. Just give me a second, guys. That said in, I think it's like Russia or Croatia, that they're teaching elementary kids jab cross. They're just teaching them jab cross, and they'll eventually develop into the hooks and the uppercuts and, the takedowns and the submissions and et cetera, et cetera. Same thing applies here. This is your jab cross of trading. Learn this, develop this. Once you learn the rules and the setups and the patterns, it becomes more and more second nature. Other than that 830 spike right there, that you can sit down and look at a chart in a minute, 5 minutes, and have a pretty good indication of what you think the next pattern is going to do, the next zone is going to do. It has certainly made me a much more profitable trader. I'm qualifying Apex accounts, just like most people are these days. It is an easy way to have the liquidity that you need with not tapping into your personal savings, personal checking, and it makes it a viable option to start really making money in the market. And be able to take a paycheck from your time in a chair. Me and my best friend, we trade together. We bounce ideas off each other. We talk over setups. While me and him will be talking on the phone here. We'll have Michael playing in my TV that's to the side of me here, and we do very well in trading. Not bragging, not saying anything. I've been right where you guys are at. I have taken what I consider quote unquote donkey trades, revenge trading. I remember first after getting this product, me and my buddy had it for about maybe a month and a half, and we were doing really good trading crude, and we were trading mini micros, nothing crazy, nothing big money. And there's a setup that is referred to as a Rev Pole 1 pattern 2, and not to confuse you guys too much, it kind of gets, once you have the product, you learn these things. But a Rev Pole 1 pattern 2 means that you're actually favoring a long for one candle. You're favoring it for one candle, that you're favoring a long. And I took that long and it went against me. And instead of taking a $20 stop out, I said, oh, I'll know what to do. I'll take another contract. I don't want to take a loser today. It's only $20, right? It's only $20. Let me pause it here real quick. Finish telling the story, then we'll take this trade. It's only $20. So I moved my stop. I think I moved it like 60, $80. I moved it way out of the way. And in crude trading, if anyone's ever done it, you know how it moves. And then I was like, I know what I'll do. I'll take another long when it pulls back, and then I'll average in or whatever. So I took the second one, and she kept going against me. Again, I'm sorry, I do apologize. I refer to him as in the female condensation, but crude kept pulling against me. And I said, let's take. This time I'm sweating because I'm actually down like 120, 140 bucks, and my stop has been moved way out of the way. It's not going to break the bank by no means. You know, $140, it would. I'd have to explain to my best friend like why we lost $140 on a trade that we were supposed to only lost 20 on. And so I said, I know what to do. I'm going to take 2 more contracts. So I'm in for 4 contracts now on crude. And she just kept going. She kept going, and I kept moving my stop, and I kept moving my stop. I didn't take any more contracts, thank the Lord. But on mini micros, I was down $1,000. And I thought to myself, had this been full contract, that would be $10,000 that I would have lost today. And $1,000 to me is a considerable amount of money. 10,000 is an awful lot. But I called my best friend after we finally pulled back. It finally pulled back, and I think I lost like $530 for the day. I was in that trade at like 9:45, 10:15 that morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. She would just, the crew just kept going down and down and down. And then all the little pullbacks would never be enough to get me back to any kind of break even. And finally, when it got, when the market gets to the end, it kind of flatlines, and it just kind of flatlined for 4, 5, 6 candles. And I said, you know what? I said, that's all I'm gonna be able to do today. I'm gonna be down 435. It was over $400 for sure. Anyway, called my buddy. I said, man, I'm gonna bring you my computer, all the stuff that we bought to get this thing going. It's just not a thing for me. And luckily he talked me out of it. He said, no, man, he's like, there's worse stories than yours out there. But I learned a very valuable lesson that day, and that is to trust what's in front of you, put it into play. You know, I'd love to tell you that it's 100% winner every single time, but if it's closer to probably time where it's probably closer to 70, 80 that you're going to be above this open price line by the time you get to the next zone. There's areas where you can make money at it, absolutely. And but it's reducing that risk, and do not move that stop. So we're going to take this pattern 1 here in a second. We are below the EMA, so a little bit of a risk taking that, but we are going to take it right here.
Order submitted.
Buy stop market right there. And we're going to see how she plays out, or how ES plays out on this 3-minute chart.
Order filled.
We are filled. Oh, I keep forgetting my stops are way off on these charts. But stop would go here. I told a gentleman the other night when we were discussing, this is conservative. This is aggressive. There's no need in being here, because if it comes here, it's going to here. You know what I'm saying, guys? So me, I'm a little bit more on the conservative side. I like to give it 1 or 2 ticks past a previous wick point, and then let the trade play out. Usually what I also like to do is once it starts going profitable, I like to start locking that profit up. Let's fast forward a little bit. All right, we're back to a 0. There we go. All right, let's slow it down real quick. We are up. We have broke the EMA. I'm gonna wait. I should have already moved it. I had it on fast forward and was talking. Usually once it breaks that EMA, I'm grabbing this and I'm locking that up, because it's just so volatile. You know, that can be a very hard line for any market to cross. But let's see how it goes. There it goes, crossed. Let's lock up right below it.
Stop filled.
And we're out. Wasn't a huge trade. It wasn't the biggest trade ever. It was profitable. It was a good setup. It had everything going for it. I would have liked for it to go on above EMA and then took it off. But you know, there's a possibility that's going to reject that line and pull back, and I don't want to be involved in that. Oh, and of course, Take it back, guys. I would have stayed in that trade. There's no way I would have ever gotten out. I'm teasing. But of course, also trading Apex, you're able to trade multiple accounts. I'm not sure if you guys are doing that or anything like that. This is just one contract trading. You know, for you guys who have the liquidity that can take 1, 2, 3, 4 contracts, you know, that was a $200 trade. That was a $200 winner. I usually try to get more of a 1-to-1 scenario. If I'm gonna risk this, I want to, you know, get that back or get that as well. Like me and my buddy I was talking about earlier that we talked about trading, and this did come towards it. But if you were to get into this trade and it never came to you, did you really risk it? You know, kind of thing. And then once you're able to take this off the table, even if you just locked in the one tick, and then you can just sit back and just let the trade go, let it run. This one has run fantastic. Other than we come back for a retest right there. ES loves retesting, and that's why I primarily trade NQ. NQ tends to get a direction and goes. ES, I mean, it would put this in and look, one candle all the way down, you know. But if we'd have traded, there's no way we would have been profitable. There's no way. I don't think there's anyone in this room right now that would have caught this candle here and not have locked some of it up. But I digress. Maybe you would have waited. Maybe to pull this up right here off. But for me personally, this is the setup. This is what is more taught by Michael, by Ron, by myself is, you know, low risk, high opportunity moves. You know, if you were took this long, even if you locked in that one tick and it came and tagged you out that one tick, think of this right here as one moment in time. That while this might retrace it, who knows? This already happened. There's no guarantee that it's going to go back to that level. It could have been very much that it came up here to this high, which it hit right there, went by 2 ticks, and then reacted back down. As we see, the next candle just absolutely plummeted and just rejected that high price. Came back, retested. Now we're probably in like some consolidation, some back and forth between the buyers and sellers, trying to figure out who's going to take things where. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm so glad I decided to go back to this playback. I think this has been a much better presentation so far as to what I do, what Michael teaches, what Ron teaches, a better presentation of what the product can do, how the lines populate. I do apologize when we first got in here that the backtesting feature had froze up. I'd forgotten that, you know, sliding that bar right there sometimes will just kind of freeze it up, especially if you slide it really, really far. That's why I just go to fast forward. Let's take a couple more trades. Like I said, I normally go to about 11:30 in the morning. So we are definitely within my wheelhouse of still trading. And I'm just going to tell you guys, this is garbage. This is not really giving me any kind of indication as to what I think right now. It's Wu-Tang. If any Wu-Tang fans out there, man, that is exactly what she put in, was a Wu-Tang signal. All right, let's pause it right there real quick. Let's see here. Okay, we have one more candle to go. I'm sorry, I thought that was the candle. Just 1 second, let's fast forward it. Got a minute and a half to close this candle. Then we're going to see if we can make a decision is what we're going to do. Looking at market, she has broken previous lows, all that good stuff. It is going to be a pattern 4. And this actually will give us a really good setup because there's actually, and you'll see it once you guys get the product, it's in the book. It's not hocus pocus, magical, Drew just saying something to make it make sense. There's 2 ways to trade pattern 4s. One is, pause that, sorry. One is trend continuation. We've had a big down move. We have broken the structure. We can sell it as a sell signal. We do not want to grab it open price line though. We want to go to previous wick point and sell it because we want it to break all this. For me, that's kind of a big move. I would wait a little bit. I am thinking personally that this is probably going long. I would be more in favor of taking this long, and then I would use that wick as my stop. So with that though, I don't want to take it necessarily a price line. I want to get some momentum to this candle for it to come up and push through.
Order submitted.
So I'm gonna go about right there. I'll tell you what, we'll give it a tick. We'll give it a tick. Now, once I get filled, if I do get filled, I'm going to move my stop to right here. And just so you know, there is a possibility of taking the breakout here. Personally, I'm not going to take it. I'm going to go with the pattern for reversal more so than the trend continuation, and see how it goes.
Order filled.
All right, we are filled. Let me grab my stop real quick. 1 or 2 ticks below. What I love is when it goes past the previous candle. So I would start looking now to find a profitable trade. Be a little sweet to it. 4s and 5s are the most volatile trades. They can put in the absolute biggest move. We are targeting this blue line up here, by the way. That's where the pattern 4 should exhaust at if it gets to high. It can exhaust before it gets there. That's why it's not a guarantee that it gets there. That's just kind of the range that you can expect it to go. It can break out past that. I've seen multiple that will do it. This one might have a hard time doing it, but we'll see. I will feel really good if this candle, so the third candle after, if it closes above this price line right here, we should be in good shape. If it closes below, then I'm going to reduce my risk considerably. This is kind of like a confirmation candle that if it will continue going. All right, let's see here. Every time I'm about to lock in, every time. I'm not sure if you guys had that same problem too. You get right here, like I'm gonna lock in right there, and she always reacts back. Looking to see if it's going to retest right here. Got close. It has not retested just yet. That's a good sign. What I love is for a candle to go green. All right, I think we are safe to lock in a profitable trade. Now I can do this, guys. I made money. I took the risk off the table. All right, she has broken the EMA. Let's see if she'll hold, and I keep referring to her as females. Let's see if the ES will hold that line or it's going to reject it. Let's get half. Let's get half. Good possibility just came and tagged that. There's going to be a reaction, pull back down. I'd love to see this candle close above this line. That would really give me more credence to have stayed down here. But when it came up here and rejected, I don't want to give up all this. And there we go. Stopped out, profitable trade. As you see, it came up and tagged that EMA. It did break it, which made me really I won't say hopeful, really rooting for it to continue going. But when it came back down, closed below the EMA, I did feel like there would be some kind of pullback. Let's get to the next signal, guys, and that will be the ES from, let's see, this is, I said the date while ago. It's got 5:30 here, but that's not the right date. Or that day, I thought we were trading 24th. All right. Oh, I see what it was. It's 6:24. That's the future market. Sorry, guys. It's late in the day. I'm an old man. Forget things. Let's fast forward. Let's get to this next buy signal. Oh. All right. I got a minute 40 seconds to close this candle. Looking at what has come in, we are going to be in a pattern one. Let me shrink this down so we can kind of see some more structure. Excuse me. We are going to be in a pattern one. We are going to be below the EMA. Looking at it, I probably would be favoring long, but if I do take the long, it's going to be as a push through to kind of get that momentum of the candle. With the exception of, if this were to pull up and get right here by the EMA and put in a pattern one, if I were to still favor long, it would have to be above the EMA before I would grab it. This far away, I'd go ahead and take it for the runner, but it is coming closer and closer to it. $40 seconds to close this candle. And pause. All right. So real quick, and I do have the advantage of being able to pause during this time frame, but pattern one, 1057, we are below the EMA. We had a failed push up, we had a nice pullback. Yeah, I am going to favor long, but I'm not going to take it open price line. I'm going to take it to try to grab some momentum and push that back up again. So let's hit play and see how it goes. If I get filled, my stop will go right here. Ten seconds to close this candle here. Down a little bit. All right, I'm gonna pause it real quick, guys. So we got a pattern one. The first candle did not close above its open price line. If this candle does not get above this open price line, I will dramatically reduce to a previous wick point or something like that, because it's kind of like this line has now become resistance to this move. It might go in a little bit after it, but there is a potential for a pullback. But let's let it play out, see what this candle gives us. If it doesn't stop us out before the end, looks like it's going to. Oh, maybe. Minute and a half. All right, there we go. Come on. Come on, show the people that I know what I'm doing. That'd be great. All right, 10 seconds. I'm gonna pause it real quick because I want to talk about where we're at right now on this candle. So we did close above open price line. I would love to start moving to a push point, at least to get close. I'm gonna try to give this a little bit of room to kind of start working its way up a little bit, but I'm going to now start grabbing my stop and trying to either A, minimize risk, or B, get a profitable trade. So let's see here. I'd love for it to see that 67.50 again. Come on. Should have grabbed the money when I could have, guys. Could have, should have, would have. And we're going to survive it. Stop deal. All right. One more. Let's do one more. Period setting. Let's do the 1127. Fast forward and get there. If this pattern one does not close above this open price line, this would technically be a, it's either going to be a ref pole 2 pattern, pattern 2, or it'd be a ref pole 2 pattern 4. Either way, we are looking potential long. If the pattern 1 does come up and closes above this open price line, then this will be a pattern 2, and we'll look to sell it. And there she goes. But guys, see how I reduce my risk? I mean, does it ultimately wind up going? Yeah, but I would not have wanted any of this right here. That would have gave me heart palpitations. You know, some will turn on a dime and they'll go. Some will get there. Some will get there late. I like to make my money in the first, you know, 2, 3, 4 candles of a zone. Another thing to think about too is these kind of close. This is far enough away to still take a trade. If you get like a 1127 and 1129 buy sell dot, just sit on your hands. It's consolidation. There's basically what it is. The program has said historically there's been major movement up and down this time, and it's just too volatile. It's too volatile to think about being in. All right, we got 2 minutes to close this candle. Let's back this down to about 5 and play it. All right, we're going to have a clean pattern too from what it's looking like. I would, in this instance, guys, so we were talking about a while ago with pattern 2s we're looking to sell, but I also would like to show you another setup that can be done. It's a little bit more advanced, but I'm going to give it to you guys anyway. We've had a huge move down. We are starting a move back up. I am now believing that trend has changed. We are clearly above the EMA. I'm going to wait for this to come in. If it doesn't put in some kind of big crazy wick, I'm going to do a puncture trade of this zone of a pattern 2. It's kind of it's not against the rules. It's just a little bit more of an advanced move. It's just something that you learn as time goes on. I'm not trying to cheat the system. I'm not trying to show you a setup that's not valid. It's just right here. You have this little bit of a wick. Typically, we'd look at be selling this from this zone here back. But looking at the structure, we came down. We had a pattern 1. It did ultimately finally work. And I could be completely wrong. This trade might not work. It might fail. But just looking at what I'm seeing, we've had a massive move down. I think we're moving back up. I would like to find a way to get in this up move. Now, so what we do is we go a couple ticks above where it previously wicked to, and we set a buy order.
Order submitted.
Now, what's nice about this is that if this does work like a normal pattern 2, she'll come down. I missed the trade. I wasn't in it. I hit the X button. No loss, no harm, no foul. If I do get filled, my stop is going to be here, right where the EMA is at, and I think I can take a low risk puncture move of this. Hopefully go into this blue dotted line, maybe continuing past it. Let's see what happens. If again, if this candle comes and closes below this open price line, the next candle closes below this open price line, I'm just going to hit the X button. I missed the trade, that kind of thing. Won't hurt my feelings, but Again, this is kind of more, I would say an advanced setup is probably not the right word for you guys, but it's still a low risk. I guess that's the best way to put it. That by doing that right there is a low risk puncture trade. And again, I could be completely wrong. Again, if this candle closes below this line, I'm going to look to move my stop into it. Next one, if this next one closes below that line, I'm going to do the same. Kind of give it this 2 or 3 window set, or 2 or 3 candle set to make its move. If it doesn't, then I'm going to get out of it. And since we took a loss while ago, looks like a profitable one. See if she'll go.
Stop filled.
She didn't do it. She didn't do it. But that was the setup. And honestly, guys, if I was sitting here by myself trading, that's the trade I would have taken. Everything was kind of right for it to continue on an upward move. So again, it's not to tell you that these signals don't matter, but EMA matters too. It's kind of one of those deals. Yeah, after having this big pull down, it's working its way back up and it's about to hit target. Let's keep you guys up here for just a few more minutes. I want you to see what happens when it hits this blue dotted line. I don't know what it's going to do. Typically what this is the Alamo for this pattern too. Remember how I told you guys earlier that an aggressive stop would be here, a conservative stop, if you were selling this at open price line, your conservative stop would be here, your aggressive stop would be here, selling it down. For me personally, that's just too much of room to be holding it all the way here. But look how it came all the way here, missed it by a tick, and has now reacted back down. I don't sell from this line. It's just kind of like the Alamo of it. Michael explained that this is, if there's going to be sellers in the zone, this is where they're going to be at. And Michael in the pro class, if it breaks this, he would take a long on it. That is, I do not recommend it. It's not one of my trades that I personally do. Michael is 15 years experienced. He sees things that we've can only dream of. I guess the best way to put it. But you'll see once you get the product and you're seeing it, if that candle were to close past that dotted line, then there's no resistance. There's nothing in its way, and it will go and go and go. You got to go to higher time frames to find where it's going to hit its head at, kind of thing. So that's why some of these puncture trades can be so profitable, and they can go and go and go. It's not that they outperform the program. There's a higher time frame. There's a higher chart that's drawing that candle to it. In this instance, it came right to it, missed it by a tick, and has pulled back down from it now. All right, so I was going to do one more trade, but we're right here at this 1148, so we might as well trade it. Last setup for the day. Then from there, I'd like to divert you guys over to the webpage. By all means, look at everything you possibly can. Look at the products. Fill out the card that you want to either speak with me, speak with Dave, speak with Rachel about questions, answers, that kind of stuff. We do basically what I've done for you today is the same thing I do for people one-on-one to show them product and of course ultimately to purchase it. I shouldn't say we because I haven't built anything. Michael and Ron have built an amazing program that absolutely works at a high rate, a high percentage of the time. They teach it. Just this week alone, Michael did another one of our products. He did a free event to kind of go over rule settings, this, that, and the other. Michael is in class Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Ron is constantly tweaking, building, developing new software, new ideas. We have a very active Skype group. Once we take this trade here, I'll pull up the Skype group for you guys. and I see some of you guys commenting as well. I'll get to you in a little bit. You want to know some of the settings I got. I got the default settings on, guys, if y'all were curious. And I keep my ATR. This is for the guys in the Skype group. I keep my ATR the default because I have found, me personally, that these lines hold up historically. Some guys adjust it down so they can get the breakout a little bit more. I like it more for the range of it. And I found so many times that, especially trading 4s, 5s, that it will get right there to it, and it kind of stops. But those are just your default settings, guys. All right. Let's see here. We got a minute to close out this candle. Let's give it 50 seconds. All right, pause it right there. All right, so we did close above the EMA, pattern 1. I would definitely be looking long. I would probably even look to grab this at open price line. I'm going to set for a push through because it's already kind of reacted a little bit. I would say that if this candle were to start coming down, I very well would kind of move into it because I'm looking that up move. Could be wrong. It might come back and bite me in the tail, but we're looking to go long. Stop would go below this EMA line. I give it a couple ticks. I give it a little bit of room for this to work. That's such a small candle, small wick. I'd go to something like that right there, like 1 or 2 ticks below that. So let's see what we got going on.
Order filled.
All right, we're filled. Move my stop. Oh, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Stop fill. Oh, it didn't do it. Watch it.
Stop fill.
Stop fill. All right. Sorry about that, guys. It did go positive for a little bit. Let's see how it played out the rest of the time. We did have a really nice $200 winner earlier on one contract trading. Certainly, I'm very conservative. I like to minimize my risk, and what I love more than anything is for a trade to go a little profitable, to lock up a trade and then let it run and go from there. That way, I protect my Apex account, protect my personal account, etc. Again, the conservative stop should have been down here. I tell you what, just for craps and giggles.
Order submitted.
Just for craps and giggles. That's about where we were at.
Filled.
Now, if this winds up getting tagged out, y'all don't think I'm an idiot or anything, but this would be your aggressive stop. I think I'm trying to figure out which the best way is to say that. I'm not sure if this is conservative or if this is conservative, but for me, I would say this is conservative. This is an aggressive stop. This is allowing the market to come to you a little bit before it reacts. Let's go 20 times speed because I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it from here until the end of the zone. Either it's gonna hit target. Maybe I should trade this way, guys. I'm teasing. Just for me personally, it's just I don't like negative. I'd rather be in a candle that goes than to sit around 3, 4, 5 candles with that negative red number up there and just you guys have probably seen me hit my vape pen a couple times. I do apologize. I'm a terrible human being for it, but you ought to see me whenever that thing is negative red. It's and I don't get upset. Emotions left me in trading 6, 8 months ago. So I was going to hold it. Hang on it. I was talking to a gentleman the other day, and we were talking about the mentality of trading and how you take your emotion out of it. And the best way I can tell you to take your emotion out of it is that you have to know that is your trade, that you would trade it that way 100 times over, because trading 100 times over that way, you're going to win 70, 80, 90% of those trades. And then, so we're getting to the end of the zone. Let's look at profit trade. Pause it right there so I can finish that little thought right there. You have to ingrain the rules and the patterns and the timing into your system, that you just naturally do it, that you know that 100 times out of 100 that you would take that trade, that you would take that long, that you would take that short, and whether it goes positive or it goes negative, or you get what I like to call an insta stop, where you just, as soon as you got into it, you never even had a chance and it just wicked you right out, that you would still take that you would still take that trade. And I use this as another example. I was back testing one day. I was back testing the day that we had worked on, and there was a trade earlier in the morning that I took a stop on. I took a full stop, 20 tick, a 40 tick stop on NQ, and never went positive. This, that, and the other. Back tested that exact same day, and guys, I took that exact same trade. And I forgot what it had done, but the setup was there. Every indication was there that trade was going to go in the direction I wanted to go. Ultimately, it didn't, and I shrugged my shoulders and I was like, the next one will. It's easy to take a small stop or like, man, why didn't it go in that direction? And ultimately, if you start doing the research on it, if you go to a higher time frame, if you go look at the news or something, like something's happened, that something is hedge fund guys have come in, the banks have come in, this, that, and the other, the stop runs have been done, like that kind of stuff. It just, it can make you go mad, but when you know that historically speaking, time and time again, your trade has worked time and time over again, those one or two that take you out, they're flukes. And you just got to shrug your shoulders and be like, I'm going to trade it again. And I'm going to do the exact same thing, because historically this has worked time and time again. So with that, let's finish up this trade right here. And let's see if we can make it to the end of this candle. Let's grab half of that.
Stop fill.
Guys, I appreciate you so much. Real quick, I want to direct y'all to the webpage. If I can, I thought I had it pulled up. Let me just pull it up over here. Oh, real quick, performance for today, it should be up here. We're about $137.50. I know it's not huge money. That's one contract trading. We did have a loser or two in there. We had some good winners that went for bigger money. I just locked up very little and just kind of let it run. Fast forward and everything else. Hopefully you guys saw in y'all's trading strategy that, man, I would have locked up a whole lot more money than what he did. I hope so. I hope you do. I wish you guys all the best when it comes to your trading. But real quick, before we get off, I want to bring y'all to the website, get all this stuff out of the way. So, of course, here's our website, backtothefuturetrading.com. We do have a product store. The tool that I showed you guys is Time Warp, and remember that is our jab cross. Our jab cross. We every customer has Time Warp, whether they've got Aurora, Optimus Force, on down the line of other tools. Everybody has Time Warp. Everyone has learned these patterns, these entries. We all do things a little bit different. We all trade different we all trade different time frames. We all trade different markets. The program will work on any market that you want to pull up, whether it be gold or Goldman Sachs or JP Morgan. I did a seminar with a guy the other day. We put up a JP Morgan chart, and it blew his mind that we timed his stock out that he would have made a considerable amount of money off of. Sorry, reading something real quick. So again, we're going to start you guys on Jab Cross. Love for you guys to become customers of that. With that, I'd love for you guys to also get the program class. That meets on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Michael's room goal is $200 a day. He exceeds that tremendously. He takes live trades, live setups. You can literally, like as you see, I have the second screen here. This screen is Michael's computer. I get to see him on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. This is the screen that I use for taking my trades. And it's really funny after being a customer for a while and being in the program. A lot of times I'll be looking and be ready to set up a trade and look over, and Michael's taking the same trade I am. I don't do every trade that Michael does, but certainly if there's a trade that shapes up that's kind of in my wheelhouse, that's in my comfort zone for my profit, for my target, I will take it with him. He has no problems with it. The next thing is that you also get, this was the booklet I was trying to pull up earlier. You also get this booklet that goes over the patterns. Goes over the patterns, the setups, the entries, the exits, profit targets, all that. You also get that as a downloadable PDF file. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing that you get. Oh, the Skype group, real quick. Let me click this for you guys real quick. And these guys have been messaging me back and forth a little bit. I hope they're not telling me how stupid I am, but it is what it is. They're just jealous. Just teasing, guys. Oh, that's sales team. Sorry, excuse me. Let me find it. Where you guys at? There we are. BTTFT community. We have 263 participants in here currently. A lot of people ask questions. We put information in there. People will message me. They'll message Dave. They'll message Rachel, Michael. Questions as to settings or what we think about that. Michael is usually, there's one right there. I don't mean to brag, but LOL. It's an active group. We are a community, guys. Me and Michael had this conversation, and hopefully you guys will start seeing some videos of my son here for too much longer. We had this conversation as like it's the first man over the wall kind of concept. Is that the first man who makes it to the top of the wall, he throws the rope down for everybody else. While I'm still going through my trading journey and, like I said, qualified Apex accounts and trying to get to, probably trying to get where some of you guys are already at when it comes to trading. I have found a tool, a process that works for me day in, day out. I do stay away from certain days. I don't trade FMOC days. They're crazy days. The market's so volatile and everything else. Tuesday was kind of wonky. Yeah, I did trade Tuesday. I did end up profit, not a whole lot Tuesday, just a couple $100, but days after holidays could be kind of weird, just whipping around, that kind of stuff. But other days of the month or other days during the year, the market works very well with our time indicators, with our tools, this, that, and the other. And even on FMOC days, Michael in class on FMOC day, he'll pull it up like, well, guys, FMOC day, we're going to practice our setups. He's like, I want to trade in the worst of it because it is just so whippy on those days. But again, we strongly teach that minimize your risk, take your rewards, take money off the table. There's another gentleman who's a customer of ours, and I don't think he'll mind me stealing on one of his sayings is, take profit when you can, not when you have to. Ron, one of the other owners of the company, told me some time back, you never want to let a profitable trade cost you money. If a trade goes profitable, take some money off the table, at least cover the commissions, and it can be tough when it's just bouncing at $37.50 or $50 or $60 to lock in a 3 or 4 tick winner, and there's potential for everything else. But sometimes candles fail. Sometimes, on a higher time frame, they've hit a line of resistance or support that we don't see. I mean, it's you can view it if you change your chart over to it. We were just on the ES 3-minute chart, but on the hourly chart, that candle could have hit a hard line of support or resistance, and it's reacting from it. But again, guys, I appreciate y'all's time so much. I do apologize that a couple things early on didn't quite go right. I'm glad we pulled back up the playback. I think that that made the class a lot more enjoyable for you guys, and it definitely helped me be able to showcase more and more what I do. That was my idea coming in when Michael told me he wanted me to teach a class, was to teach you guys as well. I'm gonna do the playback. That was like, that'll fill up a good hour, and then it crashed on me right out the gate. So anyway, well, that's my time for you guys today. I look forward to emails, phone calls, you know, to help in any way that we can. Certainly for you new customers out there, let's get together. Let's get together and let's talk about how we can help you guys improve your trading strategy, and go over more, dive deeper into it, et cetera, et cetera. Like I said, me, Dave, Rachel, and Michael, you know, we want y'all to have these tools in your hands, because we know how well they perform. So with that said, guys, I'm going to end our meeting, and I appreciate everyone being here. Well, we had a very nice turnout. I can't really read the number. It looks like 48. Wow, 48 people. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good evening, and we'll see y'all later.